Sairam, having seen the preparation of ketones, we will now see the preparation of carboxylic acid compounds which we happen to come across at many places. Generally in this case, we have to first see what is an important aspect in this part, and that happens to be the functional group which is given by RCOOH. Now, the moment this is RCOOH, earlier compounds, the advantage was it was like this, where the electronegativity difference was basically delta plus delta minus, or in ketones it was nothing but delta plus for this, delta minus for this. That was clear cut. Now, here there is a problem, that you have a carbon and you also have two oxygen atoms here. So, the question now is, where should be the basic cutting that can be seen? Our minimum basic understanding can be that this could be easy because this is a double bonded system. But what happens here is, we have also seen in the structure of the carboxylic acid, where carboxylic acid very easily gets dissociated into its hydrogen ions which are there. This is a reversible reaction which is possible. So, considering all this, the properties of the compound will also differ, and in some places it might affect the preparation of these compounds. So, let us start with the first method of preparation of these carboxylic acids, which is nothing but from oxidation of primary alcohols and aldehydes. We generally saw that oxidation of primary alcohols happens by this condition, where since it is having only one alkyl group, it will not be forming like ketones or any other compounds. So, generally when we take an primary alcohol where carbon containing OH will have only one alkyl group which is present. To this, if we do oxidation, if we use a weak oxidizing agent or a controlled oxidizing agent like CrO3, we can stop this reaction at aldehyde. But the same thing if you use a strong oxidizing agent like KMnO4, you will be obtaining COOH. Why this is so? Because in this conversion, you can see the difference that from this compound to this compound, there are two hydrogen atoms removed. Just check out the number of hydrogen atom on both the sides and you will realize that two hydrogen atoms are removed. So, what is oxidation? Either you add oxygen or remove hydrogen. Now, here it has done just one work, that is removal of hydrogen, but see this part of the reaction. Now, what has happened here? In total, it has added another one oxygen. You can see just one here, whereas two here, and along with this it has removed two hydrogens also. So, which means that it has to do multiple works, add oxygen, remove hydrogen. That is why strong oxidizing agent will be required in this case. So, either use a primary alcohol and directly do a strong oxidizing agent, or take it this step only. Suppose if you run this reaction for a long time, CrO3. So, what is basically happening here is, you started with primary alcohol and because it was a controlled oxidation, you formed aldehyde. Since you continued it for a long time, this does not mean that another CrO3 molecule is added. It just means that aldehyde was formed and a continuation of this reaction further went to formation of carboxylic acids. So, this is what we see in these systems, where in the reaction where primary alcohols are reacting with alkaline KMnO4, which is a strong oxidizing agent, and on hydrolysis will give us carboxylic acids. So, as an example, there is one decanol which is giving you decanoic acid. They also use CrO3 and H2SO4, where this for a long term reaction can be converted into carboxylic acids. So, what are the reagents here? One is potassium permanganate. You can also use potassium dichromate, you can also use chromium trioxide. Only thing is that potassium permanganate and potassium dichromate could be very strong oxidizing agents, whereas chromic oxide will be more or less a controlled oxidation reaction in these cases. Moving to the second method of preparation now, where oxidation of alkyl benzenes. So, what does the heading itself tell you is that there has to be a benzene compound, and to that benzene you need to have alkyl groups which are present. And what they have done is the same oxidation that we had employed in the earlier process. The only difference here is generally in this reaction, the R indicates the presence of aliphatic alkyl groups, whereas in this reaction, you are able to see the presence of benzene ring is a must here. So again, if you see the reagents that are taken, it is the same potassium permanganate or chromic acid, which is nothing but chromic oxide or chromic trioxide, where these components can be used as an oxidizing agent to form a potassium salt and further benzoic acid. So if I take for example toluene, which is nothing but methyl benzene, the presence of a strong oxidizing agent like KMNO4 in various solution forms can help me to get the corresponding oxide forms here, which is nothing but the salt of carboxylic acid, potassium salt of benzoic acid. This again on say further hydrolysis, we can show it as H3O plus, we can directly get the carbonyl compounds here, which is benzoic acid. Now please understand that there is one aspect here where the oxidation happens to the carbon present just beside the benzene ring. Does not matter how many ever carbon atoms are there. That is what you see in the reaction, that in the second example after toluene, you see that there is actually propyl benzene which is given. And if you see the final products in both the reaction, it is showing to be same, where methyl benzene is also giving you benzoic acid, propyl benzene is also giving you benzoic acid. Now what does this mean is, either of these compounds, or to say any chain of alkyl compounds which are present alongside benzene, will always give you benzoic acid, because the reason is the oxidation is happening at the very first carbon which is attached to the benzene ring. So the question now is, what about the long chain which was present? The long chain actually goes out as various byproducts. So moving to the third setup now, which is hydrolysis of nitriles and amides. So here we undertake hydrolysis reactions where carboxylic acids as well as ammonia byproduct is formed. So how does this form is, the nitrile compounds are taken, RCN, and to these nitrile compounds if we undertake hydrolysis, that is say H2O in the case of acidic medium. Now H plus is the acidic medium and H2O component is added here. The mechanism is not there for you where you actually end up breaking both the pi bonds which are there. We directly go to the products where these can form amides. So if you see RCN, there is an attachment of 2 hydrogen atoms to the nitrogen and 1 oxygen atom to the carbon which was there. Now the same thing which you further continue, you will see that the H2O when it is added, we know very well that H2O again once again, if I have to just revise it, splits up as H plus and OH minus, and in this case also if you see here, this is both carbon and carbon. Carbon oxygen has electronegativity difference. Carbon nitrogen also has electronegativity difference. So once again the question, where will you break it? Breaking here, you have to break a double bond, which is difficult. Breaking here is pretty easy. And the plus part will react with the minus part. This is a well-known thing of like charges and unlike charges. So what are the products now then? If I have to consider these parts, RCO of the amide goes and attaches to OH of the water which is present, and that is how you get the carboxylic acid. What happens to the other side now? The NH2 has a negative charge, partial negative charge. That partial negative charge can end up attaching with the H plus which is there, and ammonia gas is formed as a byproduct. And this is a very good reaction for us for a simple reason that the byproduct which is formed evaporates off. See, if it was part of the reaction mixture, again you have to employ certain separation techniques. But because this evaporates out, this will be one of the very good methods for preparation of carboxylic acids. So if you see some more examples that are present there, ethanamide, where directly in the examples they are taken from amines, where ethanamide, because there are 2 carbon systems available, you will get ethanoic acid and ammonia. From benzamide you get benzoic acid and ammonia. Basically it is just about addition of water to these compounds. So having seen this hydrolysis, we once again utilize this Grignard reagents for preparation of carboxylic acids. we have already seen that Grignard reagents have a speciality where the production of carbon ions can be seen, and that advantage is utilized here where carbon dioxide gas in the presence of dry ether, the ether used here is diethyl ether, which is C2H5O, C2H5, that is the reagent that is being used here as a solvent. So, this carbon dioxide, it tends to undergo substitution in the cases where the Grignard reagent of the form RMgX reacts with carbon dioxide. This is the main reactants that we tend to take. Now, as we see the substituent parts here, R minus delta plus, we already studied this part. We know very well here that this should be delta plus and this should be delta minus, because carbon and oxygen have electronegativity difference. The other way around you can write it here also, but what happens is at one particular point you can't break on both the sides. So, what we will do here is one side we will keep it as it is for stability case. So, C double bond O, suppose if it is as it is. Now, this carbon is a positive part. So, who should attract to the positive part? Negative part. So, who is the negative one here? R is the negative one. So, let me bring and attack R to the electrophilic carbon. Now, one side when I take, so suppose if I consider that, I have considered this as a negative oxygen. So, in this case now the negative oxygen which is there will be attached by the positive MgX which is present here. So, this is a sort of intermediate that is generated in this case. Now, from this intermediate how will I get my final compound? Pretty much easy, just add water. So, the moment you add water, it splits into H plus and OH minus. So, what happens here? RCOO. This is the cutting part where hydrogen attaches here and magnesium will combine one with it, it is already in combination with X, it will also combine with OH. Now, why it is combining with OH is because magnesium is a metal, highly electropositive. So, electropositive part is combining with the negative, H plus is coming and attacking here. So, this is how you can prepare the carboxylic acid, and this is also pretty utilized reaction because carbon dioxide is a very good reagent that we tend to have. So, we have also used dry ether in this case, where if you go on changing the amount of R, say CH3, C2H5, C3H7, anything, this changes the final combination product that you tend to have. So, this is the reaction that we see here where utilization of Grignard reagents along with carbon dioxide helps us to obtain carboxylic acids. Moving on, we will now see the hydrolysis of acyl halides as well as anhydrides. What are acyl halides? Already we have seen this in many parts, say like Rosemond reaction and other general components like Friedel-Crafts reaction, where acyl halides indicate RCOCl. And the basis of all these reactions is exactly the same, nothing different. So, for example, if I tend to take RCOCl and basically if I just react this with water and in acidic medium, one thing could be a little confusing where should we write water on the arrow mark or here? Now, since these are general organic reactions which we form, so here water will be a direct reactant where RCOOH plus HCl can be formed. This is one basic reaction that we consider where this H plus OH minus, H plus combines with Cl, OH minus combines with COOH which is there. So, if this is for acyl chlorides, now suppose if we have anhydrides. Now, this is one anhydride, this is nothing but acetic anhydride, one of the example. So, to this if I add water, say again in acidic medium. So, what am I going to get here? Now, the question is, see this part once again there is a confusion now, should I cut here, should I cut here? Pretty clear that C double bond O cutting is difficult, so obviously I have to cut here. The question now is, should I cut this side CO or should I cut this side CO? Actually, any side cutting will be not giving you any different result because entire component is symmetric on either sides. So, suppose if I cut here, what happens is this becomes delta plus, this becomes delta minus, and water is H plus H2O. So, CH3CO and OH from water comes and attacks to this part. What about the other part now? CH3COO. So much is there. So plus CH3COO, and to this the hydrogen of water comes and attacks. So whether you use acyl chlorides or anhydrides, reaction basis remains the same, that they will break down based on their electronegativity difference, and water molecule will add in such a way that the electronegativity difference is being stabilized. So if you see some other examples that we have here, we happen to have a general reaction where water in acidic medium can directly give you RCOH. If you use basic, like the way they are shown where OH minus is used, it will form the corresponding ions, RCO ions, and finally in hydrolysis they will give RCOH. In the explanation I happen to use acetic anhydride, whereas in the example that you see now, the anhydride that we have is benzoic anhydride, where the difference is just that in place of CH3 they have used C6H5. We also have other anhydrides example, which is a combination of anhydrides where one side there is benzene ring and the other side there is the CH3 group also which is present. So basically what we see here is attack of water, breaking down of the compound and forming the corresponding acids. Looking into the next one now, hydrolysis of esters. Once again it is just that this has a different heading, but the process, the system always remains the same. So what is the starting compound that we have here? The starting compound that we have is esters in this case, where what are esters? The general formula of esters is given by RCOOR dash. This is the general formula of esters that we see. And once again, if we undertake hydrolysis, say add H2O in H plus medium, once again the splitting happens to be the same. But once again here the confusion is with side breaking. All this time the question was C double bond O is now ruled out because it is a strong bond where you have to break 2 bonds in total. Now the question is, should I break here or should I break here? So this will be reaction specific in nature. Whatever we study in a theoretical aspect, we don't study just out of the world. Whatever happens in practical aspects is what we study here. So what are the possibilities? That let us see first. The possibility here is it can form something like this, RCOO, and H can come here, and I can also get an alcohol as a byproduct, where COH group and alcoholic group was obtained. This is one type of reaction that can happen. What could be the other type that is present here there? Suppose if this was the part which was cut, I could actually have it as, say, in the presence of H2O and H plus, I could have it as RCO. If this side is the cutting, OH will come here, R dash OH. Basically what we see is either way it cuts, the formation is 1 mole of carboxylic acid and 1 mole of alcohol. The problem is the moment we go into examples, can we get a specific cutting which is possible? Let us see some examples that are given for us now. So what are the examples here? Ethyl benzoate. They happen to get benzoic acid and ethanol. Whatever be the mechanism, wherever it cuts, it doesn't matter here, because in this case basically one part of acid comes and the other part of alcohol tends to come. So ethyl butanoate, where how this is called as ethyl butanoate, we know very well that in the case of esters naming, anything that is written on this side, because this doesn't follow the normal IUPAC nomenclature. The nomenclature says that longest chain has to be identified as parent, but that will not be applicable here because the longest chain is broken by oxygen. So therefore anything written here is taken as substituent, anything this side is taken as parent. So if you see in the example that we have ethyl butanoate, ethyl group is on the oxygen side with C2H5, and on the other side along with the COO you have other 3 carbon atoms totaling it to 4 parts. So if we use such type of a butanoate compound, we tend to get butanoic acid and alcohol also with this compound. So this is how various reactions of carboxylic acids are considered for our cases. And having seen all these reactions now, let us see some questions that we have for our understanding. First question, explain the preparation of acetophenone by Friedel-Crafts acylation reaction, something that is repeated from the first year also. And here be aware how the cutting of the bonds takes place, and finally how the acetophenone reaction takes place. Second one, give an example of a strong oxidizing agent. We have many oxidizing agents, but just think over a strong oxidizing agent. Mention the name of the product when propanamide undergoes hydrolysis. So, take propanamide, undertake an hydrolysis, and you see what type of acid comes in this case. So, this is all that we have for this session, and see you with the answers for this session and further aspects of the study of aldehydes, ketones and carboxylic acids. Thank you. Sai Ram.